It's time for another gate upgrade. This time it's the AI LPR camera from Unifi that's going to go there. I finally got my hands on the AI LPR camera, which I'm going to put about here. Not entirely sure if it's going to go on the side or on the bottom, because this thing is huge apparently, but you know, we'll take it out of the box in just a second. So here's the plan. This camera is going to sit here at the gate. It's going to be my license plate recognition camera, not just because it's the LPR, but because it's here at the gate. It's going to see cars coming up to here, it's going to read the number plate, and it's going to open the gate, because, well, the intercom and the gate access kit can do that. There's a few modifications we need to do to make it work with my setup, but we'll get to those a bit later. Of course, I'm gonna also test the actual LPR part of this, so hopefully we can get some number plate recognition going past the road here. People do about 100 kilometers an hour or something like that, so maybe we can actually read number plates for that. We're gonna test out the night vision as well, so we're gonna do a whole bunch of tests to see how good it is, because this is dedicated for LPR, for license plate recognitions or number plate recognitions if you're in Australia. But I think before we talk through all the bits and pieces, let's get this out of the box and just see what it is, because this box is actually quite large. I don't know if you can see, it's the size of my head, sort of. Anyway, so here's the box, and you can see it's big, 2 palms here, and yeah, it's a huge box for a camera. But let's get it out. So you know what that means. And that just opens up nicely here. Oh, I do like Unifi packaging. Oh, no, that's just packaging. All right, and there it is. That is big. Let's get it out, hang on. Oh, heavy. All right, so, oh, it comes with a cable. Oh, so this is one of those rat tail ones. Okay, that means I have to drill a bigger hole. Rightio. This thing is huge. Okay, so what do we got? We got the mount here at the back, and obviously that can swivel in any direction, which will come in handy because we need to do that. There's the rat tail that goes into it here, so you can't, that just, okay, your RJ45 goes into there. So that's how that connects, and that's just how that works. At the front here we have, I'm assuming, a whole bunch of infrared here. That's kind of how it works with the night vision. And of course you have the camera here. I'll take all this off in just a second. And this body is solid. Now, just for comparison, I brought a G3 Flex, which is an old school camera, but look at the size difference. that is, yeah, the AI LPR, that is a big camera, but let's just see what else is here, right? So we have a bit of here. I'm guessing these are heat sinks, because it probably produces a fair amount of heat because it'll do a lot of processing. And then on the front, we do have these IR rather, not AI. I think that's what they are. I don't think this has a spotlight, or maybe it does. Anyway, I think they're all IR for night vision, because it works really well at night apparently as well. And then of course we have the actual lens there as well. Okay, so that's the camera. What else we got here? Is there anything else in the box? Oh yeah. All right, so of course we have the rest of the packaging for the connection. So this is, you need to pick the right size grommet for the cable thickness you have, and then you put it through this other part of the connector for this. That goes into there, and you get a nice tight connection. Here is the tool for tightening this bit, whoops, that way, so you can tighten that mount there, like that, once it's up. Very good. And we have another pole mount, or no, wall mount, rather, I think it is. And some tools, and a whole lot of, there's the pole mount, and a whole lot of screws, and what they're called? The tightening bracket thing that you can use to put on a pole as well. And screws, more screws, and desiccant, it says on. What is desiccant? Hey? What's that? We'll figure that out later. I don't know what desiccant is. I'll figure that out. Huh. Okay, but that is it. That's what there is in the box, a whole lot of bits, but all right, let me walk you through what's actually going to happen with this project. Well, I think it will. Right, let me walk you through all the parts of the project because it might seem simple, but it's not really that simple. Okay, but we're going to start with the AI LPR monstrosity. God, it's big. I think I'm going to put it here. I'm not sure because there it kind of really sticks out if it sits like this, like it's quite intimidating. Maybe here. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I don't think it matters in terms of installation. Either there or there, probably not on top, that's a bit weird. I kind of like that down here, but then I don't know if I can see the road. Anyway, I'll figure it out. That's where that's gonna go. Obviously that is gonna go in through here. I'm gonna drill some holes because inside here is the connection for this. Well, that's the plan because that is 2-core electrical wire. Yeah, bear with me. So with the gate kit, with the intercom came 2-core, 2-wire PoE extenders. Let me show you. So they are these things, right? So the idea is that you have one either end of this 2-core wire, which is connected at the bottom. So there's a transmitter and a receiver rather, and the signal and PoE then goes over this 2-core wire in here. That's what I have in here. That's what goes down through here and up through and up to the gate. That's what I can power it with and send signal. So that's the plan. Now that does require a few extra bits. Not only, of course, we can put PoE into here, that's fine, that goes in there, that's no problem. That goes inside here, it's weatherproof, that's nice. All the 2-core wire goes up to the gate control box, and up there, let me show you what the plan is there then. So here at the control box and the batteries, we got to do a few other things. First of all, if you want to use license plate recognition in Unifi, you need to have a gate position sensor, which I do. It's an Aqara sensor, and I did that in a separate video that's linked there. But of course that Aqara sensor is not in Unifi. So to trick the system, I'm going to use a Shelly Wi-Fi relay or switch, and I'm going to add that here to the gate position, which is just a simple signal circuit. And I can then let the Shelly signal to the Unifi gate hub when the gate is closed. So this thinks that it's connected to the actual sensor, it's connected to a Shelly, same thing. So I'm going to use Home Assistant to mark that. So let's see how that works. So that's the first thing I need to do, is to actually have a gate position sensor. Then of course we have the transmitter here, which is this thing is going to go somewhere here. I have some 2-core cable that's going to come out the ground. It's just below me here. That's going to go into here. I'm going to have then PoE in here. So PoE needs to go in. Now the AI LPR camera requires PoE plus to run, so about 26 watts or 30 watts, something like that. In order to get this to provide PoE plus the other end, so that's where the receiver is, down in the gooseneck near the camera, I need to provide it with PoE plus plus. Yeah, which is why I have a PoE plus plus injector that runs off 48 volts. Looks like this. It's actually exactly the same as that one there. So I'm going to have 2 of those. So 48 volts into this gives PoE plus plus out, which I can then put into the transmitter of this that then provides the power and signal through here, which gives PoE plus the other end, and I can run the camera. So there's a fair few moving parts, and at this point you might go, but Lars, you're an idiot. Why didn't you just use Cat 6? Well, I would if I could. Unfortunately, I only put in one Cat 6 cable when I put in the gooseneck, and that was even a spare I didn't need at the time, but I'm using that for the intercom. So I don't have a Cat 6, and rather than dig up everything, I'm gonna try and use these because they're kind of neat. I got them with the Gate Intercom Access starter kit anyway, so I think it'll work. But first, I'm gonna bench test this. So I'm gonna set it all up on the bench to make sure that the camera can get adopted, it can get enough power, and we can actually make it all work before I go and pull the gooseneck apart and install it all for real. So that's next. I'm back in the Lego room for 3 reasons. One is that there's a nice bench here it's a runway, but you know, we use it as a bench right now, and I'll show you this in just a second. 2 is that outside is 13 degrees or something, and especially the tin shed I'm normally in to do these bench tests is stupid hot. So no, not going there. In here where it's nice and cooler. Still hot though. And third, right behind me is my Pro Max 24 switch. So I'll actually have connection to try and hook it up. So, but let me just talk you through what all of it does, my test that will simulate my gate setup, and then we'll try and hook it up. So I'll just get you. So first of all is a 12 volt battery here, and that's just a standard 12 volt battery, and then it is hooked up here to a step up converter from 12 to 48 volt, which will simulate what is at the gate. So 48 volts, what we're using down there. And that is then connected to one of these PoE injectors or adapters, which gets the 48 volt there. And then this is the LAN connection, which comes from the Pro Max 24 switch right there. Okay. And then this is not hooked up just yet. We'll connect that in just a second. There is the transmission part of the 2-wire PoE extender, and that is connected to this standard 2-core electrical wire, which is what we have at the gate in the gooseneck. And there's a lot of it, which is then connected to the receiving end in the same way, which has now hopefully PoE plus out. That's what we're after, right? Because over here, remember, PoE plus plus goes through that, comes in here, becomes PoE plus. And that is then connected here with a standard LAN cable to AI LPR. So let's try and fire it up. So I'm just going to put you back here while I do that. So I am now going to connect down here the PoE plus plus adapter to the transmitting end. Ready? And yep, we got white light here. Good start. And oh, white lights here, and I heard a click. Please? Yay! Look, it's flashy. So that is Unifi speak for I'm starting up. All right. Cool. Let me just show you. Here. So that is now flashing. So that's connected and that's transmitting. Let's go over this, and this is flashy white lights connecting, etc. And that goes into the big ass camera, which is now starting up. So let's see if we can actually see it in Unifi Protect as well, which I have right here. And new device found. Camera AI LPR. Look at that. Look. So that means that it works. Cool. So that is now all. That's it. I think we're good. So now we can install it at the gate and continue the project. All right, so I just did a bit of testing to figure out, how this would work, and it actually would work from up the gate, the gate control unit up there, etc. And here's the plan, and there's a couple of caveats with it. So I'm going to put it about here, the camera, as close to that end as I can, because it gives a better view here in front where the cars are going to pull up to open the gate with a number plate. But I can also point it this way down that part of the road, and I can actually turn it around to the other side like this and point it down like that, down that way on the road. So I think that'll work. So we'll put it there. Now, there are some specifications on how to install this, of course, for it to have optimal performance. I can't quite meet those. Right, so there's the caveat. You need to be, well, less than 5 meters up, vertical. That's fine. This is 1.8 roughly. So that's okay. We got that at 1.6, whatever. But the angle to where you read the number plates needs to be less than 25 degrees. And I'm not sure I can do that on the road here. And I can't actually move it closer to the road, of course, because it's all in the ground. So we're going to do what we can. We're going to test what we can. It does have zoom, I believe. We're going to look at that once it's installed. So I can zoom down the road a bit and maybe get a better view of it, people, cars going past, etc. But I'm not super hopeful that I will be able to do the high speed detection of number plates. And of course, that's my fault. That's not the camera's fault. But in any case, I want it here. I want the wide angle here, and I want it to read number plates coming up to the gate anyway. Like reading number plates on cars going past, less of a priority for me, so that I can live with that. But just so you know, I probably won't be able to test that in any great detail. So sorry about that, but limitations of real world installations, that's how it is. Okay, let me just go up to, I'll take you up to the gate control unit, or the box with many things, and I'll just explain there what might be an issue and how we can solve it. Now, in order to get license plate recognition natively into the Unifi system through Access and Protect, the camera that you use for the license plate recognition has to be connected directly to the hub. That's one of the requirements, as well as the Protect and the Access application being on the same console. So in my case, they're both on the NVR, so that's fine. But here, I've connected this to the hub. That's fine, but that is connected to my PoE injector, which is going to be connected to, here's the 2-wire PoE extender, which of course is going to go through the 2-core electrical cable down to the gate, which works fine, but I'm not sure, and we'll have to test this, if the hub agrees that that is a direct connection to the camera. If it notices that there are things in between, like these PoE extenders, this might not work, but that'll be an interesting test. If it doesn't work, I have a backup plan, so we can still use it, we can still do it. But yeah, so that's the two things. One is I probably can't mount the camera exactly for the high-speed test, etc., but it will still read number plates and we can still test the cameras, no problem. And the hub needs to be connected directly to the camera for it to use license plate recognition, as well of course as having the Shelly, which I've now connected here, to the gate position as well. So those are all requirements for the number plate recognition to work. And we'll see how we go, but I do have a backup, so we will make it work. Just maybe a bit of finagling needed. All right, now let's install the camera on the gate and then I'll come back. Now might be a good time to consider subscribing to the channel. If you're enjoying the AI LPR camera and the video and the content that I do, why not click that big subscribe button down below? It would really help me out. But of course, there are other ways that you can help out the channel and support as well. You could use the super thanks, or you can leave a comment, or you can put a thumbs up, or you can check out the merch. There's a lot of merchandise that I have designed myself with a bit of help of AI, that is down below. All sorts of t-shirts and towels and I don't know, lots of stuff. Check it out, it's down below. Or how about becoming a member of the channel? Yeah, so if you become a member, you click the little join button down below as well. you get access to members only content. So that's maybe live streams, it could be behind the scenes stuff, it could be more bloopers, it could be extra knowledge, it could be a bit more detail about things, whatever I can come up with as members only content, you will get access to. And it's a good way of supporting the channel. So yeah, I would really appreciate it. But enough of that, back to the video. Okay, the AI LPR camera is up, it's running, it's plugged in. One change I did have to do was that I had to swap the 2-wire PoE extender to power the intercom and the camera to be powered by the Cat 6. If for some reason it didn't have enough power when I actually plugged it in, the camera that is, so I used the PoE extender, the 2-wire PoE extender, for what it was designed for, which is the intercom. It came in with the gate kit for that purpose. So that works beautifully now. They're both plugged into the hub, the gate hub. So we'll look at that in just a minute. But first, let's have a look at the camera itself, the AI LPR. So it's up here. And here are a bit of an overview of where it's at. You can see it's online. Hey, you'd think so. The model, device version, etc. is here. And then down here, there is edge recording. So this camera has what's called edge recording. I did go through this for the AI turret as well, but you can put a micro SD card into the camera. I think 64 gig is the minimum. I have a 64 gig in it, but 128 is recommended because you get obviously more storage. The purpose of this is backup, so local backup, hence edge recording, right? It's on the edge, it's on locally on the camera. It does not sync to the NVR, so it is only on local, but if there's a network connection issue, it'll continue to record and you won't lose any data or any footage, but you do have to go and retrieve it locally on the camera for now. Hopefully that'll be changed in the future, so it'll synchronize to the NVR if there's missing footage. But you can see here that it is unknown storage health status for the storage because I just used some SD card I had lying around. It's not official Unifi SD card, but you can choose, if you click manage, you can choose whether you want continuous or events only. Obviously with events only, it'll have more storage. You know, continuous takes up more room. That makes sense. And what kind of resolution you want to record in. So right, for now, I just have events only and high quality. So that's fine. Speaking of putting in the SD card, remember that desiccant? I didn't know what that word meant, but desiccant is what you also get in your shoes or things that need to be dry, not have moisture in them. Electronics, if you buy a new phone, there's desiccant in it. I never knew that was the word. But this camera has bespoke or special desiccant that you put inside the camera, obviously to keep out moisture. So I hadn't seen that on a camera before, but that is where it goes. So the little box that came with it, yeah, desiccant goes inside the camera. I learned. Let's have a look here at the recording settings. So these are very similar to other Unifi cameras, but there's a few differences. Recording mode continues and we create motion events. Nothing unusual about that. We can create AI events, which is the events, you know, vehicle, animal, person, etc. Those are also the smart events that the AI key uses to post-process and do its magic. And if you want to know what the AI key does, I created a video on that as well, which is linked up there. So go and check that out. I can put this as LPR dedicated, which means that, as the little information box here says, only events where license plates are detected will be recorded. It's recommended to enable the LPR night vision as well if reflective plates are used in your region, which is apparently in many regions there are reflective plates because you want to see them at night. So you can tick that. I haven't done that for the minute. I might do that later on, but for now I'm just doing that. I'm only creating events for license plate and vehicle while I'm testing it for license plate recognition, because I'll show you how that integrates with Access as well. But you could change it here and you can add animal and person if you wanted to. For now, I'm not going to do that. It's unlikely that there will be a person going by, walking past on our road, middle of nowhere, and animals, there's tons. So I might put that on later on if I want to see animals, but you can. Audio detections, there's all these: baby crying, barking, car alarm, smoke alarm, etc., etc., etc. So I've got all those on. And then there's some, you know, how long do you want to add detection before and after the actual sound. We have recording quality. Frames per second, I put it at auto normally. You can put it at custom if you want to have specific frames per second, like 30, that's the maximum. I just put it on auto because it seems to perform okay. I don't need super clear all the time, many frames, so that's okay. Video compression, bitrate will be downgraded for live view only, so it's recording. Video compression is for live view only is what it's saying. And I use the standard encoding. Labs in Unifi terms means beta, so it's a bit of a test. And you could put enhanced on there if you wanted to, but I've left it as standard. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. It improves video quality while reducing storage size. Okay, but I don't know what algorithm it is or anything. If you know, put it below in the comments. Recording resolution, if you don't want 4K, you can downgrade that to 2K or HD as well. I usually put time and camera name over here on the overlay information. And then we have recording retention, which is automatic. So all of my cameras are automatic. So whatever storage is there is what it uses. And then we have motion zones, smart detection zones, crossing lines, and privacy blackouts. I'm not going to go through those. I've done that in other videos. But I will be coming back to the crossing line later on in the video for a little trick I found, which is kind of neat. All right, settings. There we go. We can change the name. So I'm going to call this the Gate AI LPR because that's where it is. I've got the microphone on. I have auto night vision. Again, there's a specific LPR night vision. If you enable that, you will pretty much only see number plates at night. That's sort of optimized for that. As it says, will significantly impair visibility other than license plates. So just bear that in mind. But if it is the main purpose is to read license plates, you can absolutely put that on. I'll try that later on when we test how it works with the number plate reading, etc. Right? So we'll change all these. But for now, we'll leave it there. And that's it. There's some tags, which is a way of sorting cameras and grouping them. And you can share live stream, and there's a real-time streaming protocol. So that's all there is for the Protect side of things. So let's jump over to Access, and I'll show you how that integrates with the LPR camera. Right, so Unifi Access is the other part of the equation to get this license plate reader stuff working to open my gate. So I'm on the dashboard here, and you can see I have two hubs or two locations. I have my gate and I have my office door. There is another video link right there about how I did everything with the gate and intercom. There's quite a lot of detail in that video. It's like 50 minutes. So watch that, get some popcorn and enjoy that one. But to pair the LPR camera with my gate, I have to do a couple of things. First of all, as I said before, the camera needs to be plugged into the hub, the gate hub, not into a switch, but into the hub itself. Otherwise this won't work. And Protect and Access needs to be on the same console. So in this case, the NVR, right? So I go into the gate. There's several ways you can do this, and none of them are super obvious. So it took me a little while. So I go to the gate, and you can see here, there are the overview of the gate. I can click to unlock it. I can see the paired devices. I can manage the paired devices. So that's where you would go and you would add which camera you want to pair with the gate. So I have paired the Gate AI LPR camera, right? That's the one that's paired. Good. Now you're not done yet. Then you click on it here. You don't click on View in Protect because that's going to take you to the actual camera view in Protect. You want to just click on the line item here, or that row. So I click on that. That takes me to the camera view inside of Access, not Protect. And there's an overview here. You can see the paired location is the gate. You can see what it's connected to, the gate hub port 1. And then you go to Settings, and there you choose License Plate Unlock. Right, so that needs to be checked. It is not checked by default for the number plates to work. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Then there's the Unlock Zone. So if I edit that. Here you have to choose whether you want the vehicle with license plate number or just the license plate number, as in, do you want the unlock to occur, the event, when you see all of the vehicle with the number plate, or just the number plate? I'm not entirely sure why there is that distinction, but in my case, I'm happy there is, because it doesn't work with the entire vehicle. If I choose all the vehicle and I have this zone set here for detection, the vehicle is like, it's out of the zone. So I choose only the license plate number. Right. Okay, so that's done. I'm not done yet. So I save that, and now I have license plate unlock enabled for the camera with the gate, right? Okay, which license plate, which number plate am I going to use? So you then go to your users, which is under settings and admins and users. And then here you go to say me, and you go on to settings again. And down here, there are license plate. And then you add the license plate you want to associate with that user. So in this case, I've added these two license plates here, right? Now, all of this is only possible when you have the, well, what I said up until now, you know, pair the hub with the camera plug into the hub, and of course you need the gate position sensor as well. So that's what I use the Shelly for. So I use the Shelly to connect the Akara to trigger the Shelly to let the hub know when the gate is open. And I did that in Home Assistant, so let me just show you that. Okay, so I'm in Node-RED in Home Assistant. So here's my logic for this. So I want to say, is the gate open or closed? This is the Akara sensor. So this is the Zigbee sensor that I put on there in a previous video. Is gate open or closed? I use the gate position sensor opening. That's what it's called. If it's on, that means open. And if it's closed, that means off. Well, off is closed. And then I'll just use that to then let the Shelly know. So here, open gate in Unifi, as in let it know it's open. And that is just the Shelly gate position switch that I then switch to on. That's it. It's pretty simple, but you do need to have a gate position sensor of some kind. I didn't want to wire up a whole bunch on the gate, so I used this technique when letting Home Assistant know, and it works really well. Again, it's more moving parts, but it works really well. So I can show you here, if I go to the dashboard, you can see it's closed now. I have a little button here to Home Assistant on my phone. I can open the gate, and you can see immediately it'll go open gate, right? So that works. So now I'm opening the gate, and that's what you need. So I just want to recap. In order for you to make this work, you need a gate hub, right, which has a gate position sensor. Somehow I'm using this Akara Shelly setup with Home Assistant. You need to have a license plate recognition camera. So it doesn't have to be the AI LPR. It could also be one of the other AI cameras, the Pro or the Turret, for example. And then you need to have that plugged into the hub of the gate, and you need to have the unlock with license plate function checked on the camera inside of Access. And then of course you need to have a number plate or license plate associated with a user. So there's a fair few moving parts or steps to get this working, but it works quite well. So that's the access part of it. I've shown you protect, I've shown you access. So I think now it's time to actually do some testing on how well all this works. Okay, let's actually have a look at the image itself. And straight up, I think this is one of the best images on a Unifi camera that I have tried. Now, I don't have the DSLR type camera, the AI DSLR. I don't have that yet, maybe in the future, but this is very good. I'm very impressed by the image quality, and obviously it's a huge camera, big lens. You should be able to get more light and more quality in there. But yeah, have a look at it. I think it looks fantastic. If I just scroll back a little bit here to maybe when there's a car or something. Here's a car coming past. See, even if I stop it, the frame rate's really high and it's really clear. And well, it recognizes that's a truck. That's correct. And yeah, I'm really impressed. I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, keen to hear your opinion in the comments as well. I don't know how well this comes across on video, but I think it looks really, really good. I'm very happy with it. Now, I will get to night vision a bit later, and we'll have a look at what that looks like, because that's quite different from other cameras, as you might expect. But yeah, it's quite different. So yeah, I think this is good. Of course, you can, as always, you can adjust the image quality. So if I just go up to live here, so that's currently the gate now there, we can go to settings and we can do image tuning in here. HDR is off. I haven't changed any of this, so this is by default. If I turn it on, we'll see if it changes it. thinks about it, and we'll just see in the background here. Now it's still a bit blurry, but okay, let's try and turn it on and we'll see if it makes any difference. Again, I'm doing this on the fly with you because, well, you're part of the video. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, maybe that's, I don't know if I think that's better. I'll just try and turn it off again. There we go, it's off again. I think I like it better with it off. It's a personal preference. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that's a good thing. HDR's off. Okay. Video compression, we talked about that before. Night vision, I'll get back to that. But of course, we can change the picture preferences for brightness, contrast, saturation, etc. So if this is something you want to do, you can do that. Now, that looks silly. So I'll put it back here. So they're all on 50% by default. But if there's something you need to configure for your setup, you can. And then there's the frequency setting. I'll put that as auto. Whoops. Scroll down, and of course we can flip the horizontal or vertical dimension as well. So yeah, you can tune it, but I think in general this looks really good. And here's all the motion zones, smart zones, the crossing lines, we'll get to that, and the overlay information as well. So that's the image quality. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, let's have a look at this license plate recognition gate opening thing in action. Yeah. There's a few different angles I want to show you here. So first of all, here is the recognition of the number plate. You can see this car here, the LSK403, has been recognized quite a few times because that's the normal daily driver. So as it comes into the camera here, I'll click play on the recording. And I'm going to pull up here to the driveway. There it comes. You can see here that it immediately recognizes that it's LSK403, etc., SUV, and it's white. And then I stop. Right? I stop because at this point, the gate is opening. The number plate has been recognized, and I'll show you how that looks as well here. So in the playback, for example, see that little itty bitty icon there? That is a gate opening event that actually shows up in the timeline. And you can see here, there's a few of them. If I zoom out a bit here, there's one there, there's another one there. So they show up, which is really handy because it's easy to recognize when the open gate events have occurred. So that's really cool. And then let me just show you this last view here, which is a 3-camera view. So this is the Gate AI bullet camera up the top here, on top left. The LPR is below, and then we have the intercom camera as well. So they're all in sync, of course. And you can see here as the car comes up to the gate, like that, and then stops, and immediately the gate, I haven't even stopped, and the gate starts opening. It's really responsive. So that works a treat. Once all those components that I described before, once they're all happy and they all work together well, it works. And there you go. So now the gate is open and I can go in through. And of course the gate's going to close afterwards, but that's an automatic thing. That's not Unifi that does that. So there you go. That's the gate opener, and it works really, really well. Okay, I did promise that we were going to go through the high-speed testing as well. And I kind of got there-ish. Let me show you what happened. Okay, so here I've got the camera is pointing down one direction of the road. You can see I'm just getting a tiny bit of the road here where the cars go past. And they do about 100 kilometers an hour, something like that. So they go reasonably fast. Sometimes they go much quicker, but that's a different story. So as the car comes down here, or the ute, the truck, you'll see it comes past here in just a second. There it is, coming down the road. So the camera recognizes that it is a car or truck, right? But it doesn't read the number plate. And this direction, I stood there for about 15, 20 minutes, I reckon, in this direction, and it didn't read any of the number plates. And I thought, well, the angle's just not right. It's supposed to be within 25 degrees, reasonably close to the number plate, and it just isn't. Like if you were above something, that would be perfect, or just next to, but this is the location I have. I can't change that. So sort of like, so it did catch it. So let me show you what happened when I pointed the camera the other direction, down the other end of the road, or the other direction of the road. So here, so first of all, I still think it's kind of fun that we get a bike icon when it's a motorbike. So here's a little motorbike coming past. He is going very slow. There you go. Coming past there on a motorbike, and it recognizes that it is a bike. There you go, motorcycle. I think that's neat. I like that it does that. That wasn't what I was going to show you. Okay, so I pointed it the other direction, right down the left side of the road, or whatever you want to call it, towards the left. And here's what happened. So here's a car coming, or a truck, a ute, and just have a look at this. And by the way, this angle is even worse. Like, it's even more of an obscure angle, or obscure, that's not it. But, the angle is much, much bigger. I'm guessing this is maybe, I don't know, 45 degree or something to the road. But let's just have a look here what happens. Here comes the car, and it says the number plate is AZ549. So let's just zoom in. I'm pretty sure that says BUZ549. And it got it. It actually read it. And I thought, that's a fluke. That's just lucky. I can't rely on that. And then a little bit later, all right, so here comes another truck, or pickup truck, ute, with a trailer. You ready? And again, it picked up number plate O2SL. So let's have a look. You can't even see it here because I stopped in the wrong frame, but it does say O2SL. It is there. Here, let me just find the right frame for you. There you go. O2SL. It did. I'm pretty impressed. I gotta say, this is not a slow-moving vehicle. And yeah, it didn't get the whole number plate. Okay, fair enough. I mean, the first two were actually quite hard to read. I think it's like 1-1 maybe. Not sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty impressive. I'm loving this. So even though I have completely the wrong setup compared to what Unifi say is optimal, it still manages to get some of the number plates. Now, it's not getting all of them, but I'll get back to that at the end, and there's an opinion on that. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at the night footage. Okay, nighttime vision. This is kind of interesting. You might have already noticed the II light on this, of course, is designed for number plate recognition, LPR, license plate recognition, which means that the IR here is like in a circle when you zoom all the way out, right? So ideally you zoom in to show, what you can do. Actually, you can zoom in. I haven't showed you that, but there's just a slider in the camera settings and you can zoom in. But it's round when you zoomed out. So you can tell that it's not amazing in terms of what it covers. That's not the point. But let me just show you here what it does pick up things, or I should say creatures, because here at the gate at the other night here, we had a few friends. See, Skippy jumping past. Isn't that lovely? So you can pick up things with the IR, and of course it's completely dark. You can see 8 o'clock, so not completely dark, but dark enough. But that's not the point, and I don't think I will actually use this this version of the IR infrared light because there's another one. There you go, Skippy. Because I'll show you why. So here is another night where it's raining. That doesn't actually matter, as I realized. But see, I got the IR light on. I drive up to the gate here in the same car, and it recognizes an SUV, but the number plate, which is there, you can't see it. So this is what I said earlier about reflective number plates. This is a reflective plate, and most plates will be, as far as I'm aware. So you can see here, it can't read it. There's nothing there, which is also why over here we do not have an open gate event. So instead, what I've chose to do, because I want to use this for number plate recognition more than anything, is you can see here I scroll through and I actually turn it off. I change it to the nighttime mode for the LPR. So when I do that, as I'm in the car here, you have a look and see how it actually changes in real time. So I change it back to the specific mode for reading number plates, and you see the difference. You can almost only see the number plate, but immediately I get an open gate event. It reads it straight away. So this is optimized for number plates, right? So I'm not sure exactly how they've done it, what the technology is. Obviously less IR, and there's some anti-reflective stuff and whatnot, but there you go. So that works at night. Now, it's not going to work driving past at 100 in my angle, but I think it should work if you have the absolute correct setup for it. It also works at night. And I think it'll work better if you can zoom into where the number plate's going to be. Now, I have quite a wide driveway at the road, so that's not going to work for me, but this works. This works a treat. You can see here it opened there. As I was testing it this evening, it opened there. And then as I scroll through, it opened again, it opened it again. I was just testing things out, right? But yeah, it works. And it was raining quite heavily and it didn't make any difference. So that was kind of neat. So, all right, so that's nighttime. You can use the IR in normal mode. It looks a bit weird with that round thing because it's optimized for number plates. I'm going to choose to use it as the LPR optimized version of the IR, and that will work much better for my purpose. Okay, now I want to show you this trick I found with the crossing line, and I'll see if maybe you have an opinion on how to make it better or different, but you can let me know in the comments. So, okay, here we go. Okay, so here's my AI turret camera, which is pointing down my driveway. And as any of the, I think it's AI cameras, maybe it's all cameras, I'm not sure, that have the crossing lines. So a crossing line, the idea is that you draw a line, and if something moves from one side to the other, you get an event, right? It gets recorded. So in this case, I have a crossing line here that's across the driveway. Apologies for that thing here, which is the settings that I can't move it, but anyway. And I have defined this as, you can see if I open it up here, going from A to B. So I want events if this crossing line, if something goes from A to B, so that way, right? Now, I only want to know about vehicles. So in this case, I just want to know about vehicles, and I'm just choosing to count the detections. That doesn't really matter. I should give this a better name, but anyway, that's the name it's got right now. So I have a crossing line called new crossing line. Apologies for that. And I now get events when a vehicle moves from here, like goes down the driveway, from here to here, right? That's the idea. Now, why is that a good thing? Or why is that interesting? Well, because there's something in here called Alarm Manager, right? If you haven't played with the Alarm Manager, it's brilliant. You can do many, many things. So in here, there is a whole bunch of alarms that come default out of the box. Yeah, I've got that. Thank you. I have created one called Driveway Line Crossing. So let me just edit that and I'll show you how that works. So all of these alarms have a trigger, a scope, and an action. So my trigger is the line crossing, right? So there's a line crossing, that's the activity. What is my scope? Which line crossing? Well, the driveway 2 line crossing, right? That's the one I want to know about. So I want to include that. So when there's a line crossing event and it's from driveway 2, then I want to unlock the gate, right? So now I have automatic going in, and if it's a recognized number plate, and now I have automatic going out, right? So any vehicle going out, including, cars that aren't registered with their number plate in the system, can get out the gate. And then I ignore repeated actions for a minute because the gate's open for a minute. So no point, right? And this is unlocking the gate. So if the gate's open, Unifi knows not to do this. So again, my gate position sensor comes in handy, right? So let me show you how that works. So here is the car, and it goes. So it drives down the driveway. It crosses the crossing line about there, right? So let me just switch to the gate camera. And here, play that. And sometimes it takes a second. There it goes. It starts opening. And I promise you, I didn't open that with my Home Assistant app or anything. I didn't cheat. That is genuinely Unifi opening that with the Alarm Manager. That is pretty neat. So now I have automatic entry with number plate recognition, and I have automatic exit based on, well, a crossing line. That to me is like, it solves 95% of my in and out problems or, challenges with the gate. So what do you think? Again, let me know in the comments because I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. I'm pretty happy with this. As an automation nerd, this is peak automation because I don't have to touch anything. I'm not triggering an automation flow manually. It just happens. So that is kind of neat, I think. All right, now I wanted to show you one more thing, which I know a lot of you have asked about, because you might be missing one or two of these bits. For example, the gate position sensor. So let me just show you just one more thing. Yes, we are in Home Assistant because you can do some of this or most of this in Home Assistant as well. Yeah, so here's the AI LPR camera in Home Assistant. And you can see that there's some sensors here. I haven't added person and animal. Remember, I didn't check those. That's why they're unavailable. Then we have all the audio detections here, baby cry, etc., etc. We have, high resolution channels, so we can add this to Home Assistant if you want to. There's person, etc. And there is license plate detected. Yeah, so if I look at that sensor, you can see that all of these, this is the O2SL that we looked at just before, all of these come through, right? A whole bunch, right? So they all come through. They come through to Home Assistant, which means we can use that sensor, can't we? So if I go to Node-RED, which is my preferred automation tool, I have here reading number plate. So that just uses that exact sensor and says gate API license plate detected. That's what it's called. If it is LSK403 for 0 minutes, doesn't matter, then we can do a thing. So we can check if the gate is open, and if it isn't, then we can open the gate, right? This is just the Akara sensor here. So we check if it's off, meaning it's closed. We check if it's open. Anyway, that's a bit, naming's hard. If it is closed, then we just open the gate. That as simple as that. And that works too. So that was my plan B. Remember, wow, right when we set up the hub and I plugged in the camera, I said, if this doesn't work because it doesn't know that it's connected directly, this is the method we could use. I mean, it did work, and that was great, and it does work now. But if we didn't have that capability, we could use Home Assistant, which is exactly what this does. Yeah, so it's also in Home Assistant. How neat is that? I hope you like that one. Bit of a bonus. That is the AI LPR camera. I know, a bit of a marathon of a video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed creating it because there's so much that you can do with this setup. Oh, geez. Well, of course, number plate recognition, that's the obvious thing, but we also get to integrate it with Access and the intercom unit, and we can put it into Home Assistant, and there's nighttime specific LPR, IR, there's all these new things that I hadn't seen before. So, but is there something I've missed? Let me know down below in the comments, because I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have, because that gives me another chance to learn more about this. Yeah, I'm impressed. I really, really like the quality as well. I mean, it's a huge camera. It's a bit imposing and intimidating. That's probably the only thing. It is big, but my God, it really, really works. It's a fantastic hardware device. Now the software is coming along. A couple of things I did have to do was that I need to add a few variations of the number plates. I don't know if it's the Australian font or something on the number plates, but sometimes it doesn't get all of them on, especially on the Range Rover. So instead of LSK403, it gets LS403, for example. So I just add that as another number plate, in Unifi Access, and it's fine. So there's an easy workaround, but that'll probably be better over time. I don't know if you're in the US. I'm assuming this is designed mainly for US number plates. Let me know. Do you have a different experience? But I'm liking it. I think it suits here very well. As someone pointed out in the comments on the picture that I posted, why not get 3? Which would be, yeah, I don't know, a whole array of them. Not sure what we would do with them, but that would be hilarious. That's it. Please do consider subscribing down below, clicking the subscribe button, or joining the channel as a member. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be something brand new.